Hello Bridge Church, it's Andy here and I'm going to be bringing a devotional for today. And I'm going to be looking at just one verse in Isaiah chapter 11. And to understand this properly, see, Isaiah, he prophesied at a time when Israel was in a real state of turmoil, a real state of complete chaos. The Babylonians were at the door. They were attacking. Large parts of Israel had already been kind of annexed and taken away. And on top of that, their kings, that rallying point of hope, of leadership, of everything good, had been cut off again and again and again. Kings dying, kings going out to war and being killed. And Isaiah uses this image of a tree, of this kind of huge, healthy tree, which represents Israel and God's love for Israel and God's chosen kings. And he talks about how it's been cut down and all they've got left is a stump. And it's almost like the people of Israel were looking around saying, where's that great tree of hope, that great tree of purpose and vision that we had in these kings? It's just a stump now. And Isaiah prophesies in Isaiah 11, verse 1. He says, there shall come forth a shoot from the stump of Jesse, and a branch from his roots shall bear fruit. And we know, looking back on this, that he's talking about Jesus here, that the shoot, the branch, was Jesus, and he says it will bear fruit. And what I want to just think about with you today for a few moments is how we can look at our own lives and we can look at the world outside around us and we can say, where there once was this really fruitful, really purposeful, really hopeful tree in our lives, it can feel like sometimes it's just been reduced to a stump, that because of circumstances outside of our control or because of the things we've done or for whatever reason, those trees of hope, of purpose, of life, those fruitful things in our lives have just been reduced to a stump. They've been cut down. And Isaiah prophesies into that, and he says, a branch from these roots shall bear fruit. And I want to talk about today just how out of the chaos in our lives sometimes and out of the most tragic circumstances, God always brings fruit. And we see this again and again and again in the biblical stories, in the life of Jesus, of Paul, of so many heroes in the Old Testament, that actually the cutting back and the reduction and the disaster sometimes in our lives brings such fruit. And in the book of John, Jesus talks about a pruning process, this metaphor again of the vine, and he says, he cuts away parts of our lives that they might grow more fruitful. And so I just want us to meditate and think a little bit about how, where there are areas in our lives, whether it's on a national scale, on a personal scale, whatever it might be, where we feel things have been cut away or even been reduced to a stump, something almost lifeless, something that doesn't feel like it has any growth in it, that we might pray and think today about, first of all, how we could have God's vision of that and see actually potential and see hope and see new life in those things that seem dead and a bit hopeless, but equally that we might, just like Isaiah, be able to prophesy and be able to, speak positively about those things and say, though it yet, look at the situation and say, yes, it is a stump. Yes, it has been cut back. Yes, I am struggling. Yes, I don't know the future. Yes, I am worried about X, Y, Z. Not to deny that, but to say out of that stump, I believe there will be shoots of hope, shoots of grace, shoots of vision, shoots of what God has for us that will bear fruit. And ultimately that fruit was seen in Jesus Christ in a continuation of God's love, of his mercy, of his joys, of all those things. And in our lives, we can see those things. And so, I encourage you today to look at stumps in your life, look at things that have been cut away and say, where is there shoots of hope? Where might God be bringing something glorious, something beautiful out of those seemingly lifeless things in our own lives?